I can take the dick off the table based upon my standard. You aren't gonna get hold of this dick if you ain't being the woman I need you to be. You need to realize that you need to cook, clean. You gotta understand that you're not the only woman. And if you can accept that, that's fine. That's just the beginning, because you gotta work hard for me, because I work hard for me. So that means if you get with me, it's not gonna be easy street, because I need to be satisfied, because it ain't no happy wife, happy life bullshit. It's happy Steve, happy Steve.
Being strong with self, understanding who you are, is the biggest defense to bitch ass weak men.
And there's no excuses for the men not to be strong. But see, there's so many forces, and then so many men are embracing weakness.
I can't stand weak men. Like I don't like to talk to them. It's hard for me to talk to these losers. I've always been a winner at the winner's table.
You know, I believe it's a sin to impregnate a woman who can't raise a child, you know, or impregnate a woman who's not fit to be a mother. And I think we have a responsibility in what we see today in these weak ass little feminine boys.
I can't tell another man what to do, but I can't dress feminine. I can't wear nail polish. It's just something that I can't do. Why? Because if I'm walking down the street and somebody's having trouble with a flat tire, I want them to feel that they can come to me and ask me, hey man, could you help me out with this? Because those are the type of things that a man will help out with. So I need to look like a man so they can know where to come for help.
Yeah, it is such a thing as toxic masculinity in the minds of bitch ass motherfuckers.
Talk about masculinity, assertiveness, authenticity, transparency. How can a guy who's straight up and honest with what he does be toxic?
If the media can train you to think something bad about it, you hear the word and you want to instantly have a certain reaction. You stop thinking, you start feeling. And when people learn to think and feel and not think through their feelings, that's when they can evaluate a person holistically. And they can say, is this toxic masculinity, or did I just hear something I didn't like? And why did I not like it? And only let me go within myself to see why.
I don't never look at no motherfucker and say, oh, that's a toxic masculine motherfucker. I never ever had, I didn't even know. That was an invented concept from a weak motherfucker that was like, I'm just tired of this motherfucker trying to tell me what to do and bully you over me with this bullshit.
What's going to make you successful is just understanding who you are and getting your mind right and being happy with who you are. That is the thing that's going to really make you successful. Because after you get all the toys, after you get all these things going on, you've had sex with all the women you want to have sex with, you traveled all the places, you're still going to be you, and you're going to always come back to you.
Why do I do this? Why are we even doing this documentary? I want guys to be in the best position possible. There's no way that I'm raising my voice or calling you a bitch ass nigga because I'm trying to hurt your feelings. I'm calling you a bitch ass nigga because you're doing bitch ass nigga shit. And if you continue doing bitch ass nigga shit, you're going to end up in bitch ass nigga situations. You get what I'm saying? So when I call you a bitch ass nigga, trust me, it's because I love you.
Game Kings 2, the definition of man, is out right now. Click the link below or go straight to masculineidentity.com to get your copy today. Still ain't getting women? Really? Come on, son. You need to go to badboymembership.com and step up your game. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I'm telling you that if you really want to attract beautiful women, you need to go to badboymembership.com. This is where you get 45 through 90-minute step-by-step dating advice tutorials every month. Just sign up, follow the advice, and you'll get the women you want. Go to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com. It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I want to tell you about my documentary, Game Kings, the definition of game, starring myself, the Boss Mac Topsoil, Rosebud, Ron Wills, Miles Cunningham, and much more. In this documentary, you're going to learn about confidence, manhood, attracting women, and the definition of the game. To get this documentary, go to MrLocario.com.
Some people think you need a sports car to get what you want. Some people think you need $1 million. Some people think you need looks, status. The only thing you need is what they can't get unless they come straight to you. And that's your identity. Join the Masculine Identity membership today. MasculineIdentityMembership.com. Masculine Identity Soap. This luxurious, quality, high lather, high moisturizing, all natural bar soap has been handcrafted with care and consistency to provide a quality cleansing experience for self-care, focus, and productivity. Specially formulated for cold showers. Stay clean, gentlemen. Masculine Identity Soap.
Click the links below to get private one-on-one coaching sessions with Mr. Locario or Miles Cunningham to step up your game. These coaching sessions are designed to help you with your specific needs in the dating game. So make sure you click the links below right now so that you can step up your game today. Yo, 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 yo. We here. What's poppin'? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario. The bad boy of the dating game was popping. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to my lovely lady, April MC. April MC is in the building. What's going on? Shout out to you. Shout out to Aaron in the building. Shout out to Michael. What's popping? June Sports, monogamous player. BJ the Kid. Shout out to Joe Blast in the building. Shout out to Joe Blast. Shout out to Duke Alex, Corey 2S. Shout out to my dude. Shout out to Scales Fitness. Jimmy Lionel was popping with you. White Jasper, Aussie in the building. Demetrius is in the building. Zati Blastomatic is in the building. Gil Poems is up in here. Who else we got up in here? Shout out to Kid Frankie is in the building. Captain Caleb is in the building. Shout out to who else we got up in here? Kobe Lean is in the motherfucking building. Appreciate you, Kobe Lean, for tuning in. JC Fit is in the building. Dan Frank, Jad King Vlogs, what's going on? Shout out to everybody. So today we're going to be talking about 7 ridiculous ways you put sex on a pedestal. Oh, we about to get into this. Because this is the thing. This show right here is going to show you why you're having problems in the game. And a lot of it stems from the issues that you have when it comes to sex. And it's you actually putting sex on a pedestal. So, a lot of the things I'm going to be talking about is certain things you've probably not heard anywhere else. You feel what I'm saying? But we're going to get into all of that. But before we get into all of that, though, y'all already know what we got to do here. So let's just do it. So make sure you guys go to CunninghamElements.com. Go to CunninghamElements.com. Get your soap. Get the parfum. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure you guys go get that. Go to CunninghamElements.com to get that cracking. Also, make sure that you guys go to ShopLocario.com. Get the program, What Men Wish They Knew About Women, with myself and April. Guys, get this program. It is fire. Hidden gems about dating you don't know but should. Make sure you guys get that. Also get your online dating consultations with myself and April. I'm telling you, we give y'all the heavy game on the online dating consultations. If you are not on this, if you have not booked your consultation, you are slipping and sliding. And there are women on there right now that you guys could actually be meeting immediately. You understand what I'm saying? Immediately. See, a lot of people like to downplay the dating apps. So me and April actually met on dating apps. You feel what I'm saying? So y'all can sleep if you want to. You can sleep if you want to. Also, get the massive game collection, master the vetting process, how to have sex 2 women a day, ebook and audiobook, looks don't matter ebook, master approaching women in 30 days or less audio program, and all the other stuff on shop Locario.com. It is all here for you. Also, make sure you guys go to Masculine Identity Membership to join the Masculine Identity Membership so that you guys can get on the Zoom calls with Miles every Monday. Also, make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com to join the Bad Boy Membership. Get this program, 10 Irrefutable Laws of the Game. Make sure you guys get that. And last but not least, make sure that you guys go to patreon.com, get on the Patreon, check out the Bad Boy Show. Me and Miles or Miles and I, proper English, I guess, or whatever. We just finished recording the last Bad Boy Show, and I'm gonna upload that right after this is done. So make sure that you guys check that out. But you guys can get on there right now, check out the new episode, check out all the episodes that are here, and they're all here. So you guys can just scroll down and watch all of the episodes. It is fire. So make sure you guys go to patreon.com/Mr. Locario to get on the Bad Boy Show. Okay, so now, if you guys want to call in numbers 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300 is the number. All right, so let's get into this topic, right? So we're talking about 7 ridiculous ways you put sex on a pedestal and why you have such a sex negative mindset, right? You have a sex negative mindset. So most guys, or most people in general, this is not even just with men, but most people in general have a sex negative mindset instead of a sex positive mindset. So a lot of times when people are talking about sex, they make sex into this scary thing. They make sex into something that you need to hide that you're doing. They make sex into this thing that is a bigger deal than it needs to be, right? And what you got to understand is that when you're putting sex on a pedestal, all you're really doing is making sex more important than it needs to be. You understand what I'm saying? It's really that simple. So either you are doing something to, make sex more important than it is, or you're trying to sort of get away from sex because you're making it more important than it needs to be. You understand what I'm saying? So either you're giving sex so much attention as far as going toward it, or you're giving sex so much attention by walking away from it. And the thing is that you might be like, Locario, how the hell are you going to give sex attention if you're walking away from it, if you're trying not to have sex? We're going to get into that today. And the reason why I say that you are still putting it on a pedestal is because you make it that important for it to be a big thing or a big deal for you to walk away from it. You feel what I'm saying? So we're going to get into all that today. If you guys want to call in, the call-in number is 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300 is the number, all right? So we're just going to get into this. And guys, this is in no order of importance. I'm going to just go 1 through 7, and we're going to break down all of the stuff here. You feel what I'm saying? We're going to break down all of the stuff. Abel said, definitely sounds like too much game. That's a fact. I'm gonna try to give enough, but not too much. You feel what I'm saying? But I might get carried away, but this is how we got to do it. So, first ridiculous way you put sex on a pedestal is trying not to build sexual tension on a date with a woman. Let's break this down. Trying not to build sexual tension on a date with a woman. You're probably like, Locario, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if I'm trying not to, isn't that me not putting sex on a pedestal? No. You're putting sex on a pedestal because you're trying not to build sexual tension. You're trying not to flirt and be sexual. And when you're trying not to flirt and be sexual, a lot of times what you're doing is that you're doing that because you would think that you're doing too much by being sexual. You think that it's inappropriate to be sexual. You think that sex is special, so you need to save it for another time. You got to wait until we get to know each other a little more, and then I could be flirtatious and sexual with this woman, right? So if you're on a date with a chick and you are scared to flirt and build sexual tension because you think it's inappropriate, you think there's something wrong with it, you think you're going to offend the girl, what you're essentially doing is putting sex on a pedestal. You're saying sex is this important and this, fragile and this crazy or this inappropriate that this is not the time to bring this up or talk about it, right? And a lot of guys do this subconsciously. They're like, oh, I don't want to come off thirsty, right? You hear a lot of guys say that I don't want to come off thirsty, so I shouldn't be talking about this, right? And even that whole idea of coming off thirsty, it's attached to being sexual in a situation. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of guys, what they're doing is they are putting the sex on a pedestal by making sex this big thing in the situation. So they're doing everything else on the date besides being sexual. So they're talking, having these conversations about a whole bunch of other shit, right? They're either getting a drink, getting coffee or whatever it is like that. They're talking about, all these other topics that have nothing to do with sex, right? And then sex is out the window. And it's out the window because you're scared to talk about sex because you think sex is special. You think sex is important. And so you are scared that if you do flirt and build sexual tension, the woman might reject the sexual talk, or you're going to offend her, which means that she's not going to want to fucking, deal with you. You see what I'm saying? So you are trying to not do this because you're trying to save it for later. Well, this is not the time. Maybe on the third date, I'll, talk about sex or be sexual or try to kiss her or whatever it is. So what you're doing is that you're trying your best to get away from being too sexual. You're trying your best to get away from flirting. You're trying your best to get away from building sexual tension. And the reason why is because you yourself are uncomfortable being sexual with the woman. You're uncomfortable bringing up sex. You're uncomfortable getting closer to her while you guys are sitting together on the date and whispering some shit in her ear. You are uncomfortable with it. And you're uncomfortable with it because you put sex on a pedestal. And so you got to understand that when you're putting sex on a pedestal, right? What happens is that you're doing this because you have a negative mindset about sex. Right? So you're holding off on talking about sex because you have a negative mindset about sex. You look at sex as negative. On a subconscious level, there's something about sex that you think there's a negative aspect of it that you feel is something that you shouldn't be talking about, engaging with, or trying to make shit happen. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the thing. And guys, if you want to call up, calling number is 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300. The phone lines are open. So if you want to call up, call up. All right. So now that's number one. So number one is you're trying not to build sexual tension on these dates. Right now, let's move on to number two. The second ridiculous way you put sex on a pedestal is demonizing porn. Demonizing porn. So if you're one of these people that's like, oh, porn's bad for you. Porn is not good. It's evil. You're sinning. Oh my God, they're having sex. Ugh. Porn is bad. You shouldn't be watching porn. Don't watch porn. If you think like this, you put sex on a pedestal. You understand? You put sex on a pedestal. Because what you're doing is that you're saying something is wrong with people having sex. You understand? Think about it this way, right? If you're watching people have sex, right? But you also watch movies. You watch a comedy special. You watch sports, right? So how come you can watch people on a screen throw a basketball in a hoop? You can watch people on the screen throw a football at each other and tackle each other. You can watch people on the screen telling jokes. You can watch people on the screen in situational, comedy skits, right? You can watch action movies on a screen, but for some reason, isn't it interesting how for some reason when people are on a screen having sex, now it's bad? Now there's something wrong with this? Right? Where did that come from? Why all of a sudden there's something wrong with people having sex on screen that you're watching? What's the problem? Somebody tell, I just want to know, what is the problem with watching people have sex on screen? Unless you have a problem with sex. Unless you feel some type of way about sex. Unless you have a sex negative mindset. You understand what I'm saying? What's the issue? Oh, but Locario, you know, it's not right because the Bible said, or some stupid shit like that. Oh, Locario, it's not right because sex is, you know, it's something that a man and a woman is supposed to do in private. It's a private matter, Locario. No, Locario, it's wrong because, you know, you're not supposed to have sex because, you know, people watching another person have sex, that's sinning, that's evil. Like what? I don't understand. What's the problem? But see, you're putting sex on a pedestal by demonizing porn. Because you're saying that there's something wrong with sex. Because all that's happening in porn is sex. That's basically what makes a porn. You're watching people fuck. You understand what I'm saying? You're watching people fuck. So the question is that what's wrong with it? Why is it demonized? I would love someone to call up and tell me why is porn demonized? What's the problem? What's the big deal? Aren't these people adults agreeing to have sex on camera and sell it as a product? What's the problem? But see, the problem usually stems from how you view sex. Because what's interesting is that lots of people, right, watch porn. You understand? Millions of men and women watch porn every day. You understand what I'm saying? Every day. But see, the thing is that people who put sex on the pedestal, they demonize porn because they think there's something wrong with sex in some form or fashion. Right? That's why they're demonizing the porn. Because if you demonize porn, you're essentially demonizing sex. You understand what I'm saying? If you're demonizing porn, you're demonizing sex because porn is literally just sex. So if you're demonizing porn, which means you're demonizing sex, what is your issue with sex? What do you got going on psychologically where you have an issue with it? See, a lot of people have an issue with sex, but don't even know why they have an issue with sex. See, some people, they got issues, you know, because of, you know, something that happened when it comes to sex. Now, because something happened, and a lot of times it could be something fucked up like trauma, it could be rape, it could be, you know, certain things. So those people have an issue with sex. You understand? But it's not the actual act of the sex being filmed that's a bad thing. It's your issue with it. What is their actual issue? Because it's really just people having sex. You understand what I'm saying? But no one has a real answer for this. It's just people are so conditioned that when we talk about sex, that's just what it is. They just start thinking about that. Now, that's number 2. Now, let's move on to the third ridiculous way you put sex on a pedestal. The third ridiculous way that you put sex on a pedestal is being celibate or abstinent. Being celibate or abstinent. So, if you're being celibate or abstinent, you're putting sex on a pedestal. I mean, do I need to even explain this? I guess I do. So, when you're saying I'm being celibate, what you're doing is that you're taking this aspect, which is sex, and separating it from every other thing you're doing in life. which means that you are basically putting a spotlight on sex and saying, I am not going to have sex. But this is the ironic part. Do you realize when you denounce something, what you got to understand is that, hold on, Phoenix, when you denounce something, you have to understand that you are tying yourself to the thing you denounce. So if you're like, well, I'm not having sex, you are tying yourself to sex because you're making sex the forefront of your activity of not doing it. You understand? You become the person that's identifying with not having sex. That's your identity. My identity is a person who's not having sex. Therefore, you're highlighting sex. Therefore, you're tying yourself to sex. But Phoenix, what's going on, fam? What's poppin' with you, man?
What's going on with you, Locario? You know I donated.
All right, that's what's up. So what's going on?
No, I was just going to say, man, because you said to call in if somebody had kind of like a downside to the porn.
Mm.
Now, I would say, my downside to the porn, I don't think nothing's wrong with porn for people who get, for men who can get pussy. But if you a dude that you can't get no pussy, I think the porn like takes away that ability for somebody to actually go out there and learn what they need to learn to get pussy.
Yeah, I could see. I would say yes and no. And the reason why I say that is because yes, you can have a person who is not getting pussy fall back into just watching porn and sort of like coping in that way where they want to have sex. But because it's hard for them to get sex, they just kind of watch porn, jerk off and all this other stuff. But also what happens is that porn will never actually take the place of a real world interaction with a woman. You understand what I'm saying? So meaning that and this is what most people don't understand about just life in general, is that when you get used to a certain thing, right? You're gonna want sort of like the upgrade of what that is. So if a guy is jerking off to porn all the time, right? And he's not getting no sex, eventually he's going to get used to jerking off to porn. And then he's gonna, what he'll first do is he'll start to watch, other types of porn, then when he gets used to that, he's gonna be like, damn, now I gotta get a chick. I gotta get a girl. You understand? This is why even, for example, like even if they come out with, let's say, they come out with these, sex dolls or the realistic sex dolls, even if guys start buying that and fucking those dolls, they're going to get used to fucking the dolls and want to fuck a real woman. So whatever you do, when you get used to that thing, you want the other thing. So if a guy is jerking off to porn all the time and he's not getting sex, he's going to still want sex from a woman because he's not getting that. And he's used to just jerking off to porn. And then what's going to happen is that because he's jerking off to porn, it's going to be like, something that doesn't really get him off as much as it used to. It's just like a person who gets high or drunk and they're getting high and drunk all the time. Now they need more smoke and more drink to get drunk because they're so used to it. You see what I'm saying? That's the same thing that's going to happen with porn. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but would you say then that it would also, it's like mentally cause that person to kind of create a, I don't know, how would you put, like a sexual ceiling, so to speak. So say like, like they have an attraction to the Instagram baddie, but they don't have the game or anything to go try to get that woman. So then they cope with that by watching Instagram baddie porn. But then it's like, by them doing that, they never like learn from the L to actually ever go out and actually talk to that Instagram baddie porn or to get that in real life.
Right. No, well, but that's what I'm saying. It's still the same thing because what's going to happen is that if they're attracted to women who look like that or whatever, right? At a certain point, they're going to realize that if they actually want it for real, they know what they have to do. So what's going to happen is that they're still going to get used to that. And then the thing that they actually want is not there. So meaning that if a guy is jerking off to porn all the time, right? He knows that there's a limit. Like you said, there's a ceiling. There's like, okay, this is what it is. This is all it's going to be. And this is all it's ever going to be. Me with my dick in my hand watching porn. You know what I'm saying? That's all it's ever going to be. So now, if he's seeing these Instagram baddies on the porn, or he wants, hot chicks that he's seen in porn, or he just wants to fuck women, period, he realizes that he has to get outside of the porn in order to do that. So the problem is that what most guys will do, or what most people will say is, they'll say, well, if you're doing all this porn or watching all this porn, then that's actually going to affect the action you take to make something happen with a woman in real life, which is not true. Because in order to make something happen with a woman in real life, there are certain other things that need to happen in order for that to happen. Now, what could happen is that if a person is extremely misguided and easily influenced, right, they may think that, or it may affect how they go about doing that. So meaning if a guy's like, you know what, I want to fuck one of these hot chicks in real life, because he's so used to porn and he has no game, he's not going to know how to make that happen. Do you see what I'm saying? And that could sort of like stunt his growth in order to make this shit happen, because then he's going to assume that, oh, well, it's like this in porn. So let me take it a step further and join a girl's OnlyFans. Ooh, the girl that I joined her OnlyFans, she's messaging me back, even though that's not really her. It's probably the manager of the OnlyFans or whatever. So now he's getting closer and closer to try to make something happen with a real woman. But because he doesn't know how to make it happen with a real woman, then it's going to be an issue based on him thinking that it may be easy, or based on him thinking of like trying to interact with a woman based on what he sees in porn. You understand what I'm saying? But that usually happens with a motherfucker who really has zero game. You understand what I'm saying? And is just oblivious to reality. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you gotta be so fucked up to even think that. Like the average dude, they'll watch porn, jerk off, and go with the rest of their day. They're not like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what the average motherfucker will do with porn. Unless you have a motherfucker who's like a sex addict, or a guy who's just like, super addicted to porn or some shit like that. But the average motherfucker, they'll turn on some porn, fucking get their nut and then keep it moving. You see what I'm saying? And so the thing is that people will demonize that, but porn has its place, because a lot of motherfuckers, porn has actually helped them get through their motherfucking day. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, so they're like, listen, I'm having a stressful day. Let me throw in some porn, bust this nut and then keep it moving. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of people make it so deep, like, oh my God, porn's going to ruin you, bro. It's going to ruin your whole life. Oh my God, you're going to be the worst. You're not going to be able to, it's like, nigga, it's not that serious. But again, that type of talk happens because people put it on a pedestal. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. That's and that's what it was throwing me off. See, I thought that those guys never came to that conclusion. But what you're saying, that even no matter what, game or not, a person, the illusion will eventually wear off, and a person will realize that they've hit rock bottom.
Right.
They'll just naturally want to go up.
Right. Exactly. So if they actually want to make something happen with a woman, they know they have to do something outside of that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, unless he's a total moron or just like insane, the average motherfucker that's just coping off the porn knows that at some point, if I really want shit to pop off, I got to go do something. You see what I'm saying? Because the thing is that he's going to get used to just the porn. This is why, even for example, why do you think, motherfuckers cheat? It's because they used to the pussy they fucking. So they're like, I want something more. You understand what I'm saying? I want something different. So it's the same thing with porn. They're watching porn. They're like, I want something different. You understand? I want the next level to this shit. You see what I mean? And that's what happens. You see what I mean? Now, I'll say this though, and this is going to sound crazy. You got to be careful, because we're talking about sex and everything like that. You got to be careful with sex and with how much sex you're consuming and all the type of shit that you're doing. Because like we said, if you get used to something, right, you're going to want to do something else at a different level, right? So then now you get to the different level. Then you want to do something else at a different level. Then you want to do something else at a different level. Now, why do you think you have all these, famous motherfuckers? I'm not going to say no names.
On island.
Right. That do crazy shit. It's because they got used to the shit that they was already doing. You understand what I'm saying?
So then they fucked up way. It was their way of upping the ante.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that's why you got to be careful about that shit, because then what happens is that, you know, you get desensitized to certain things. You see what I'm saying? So this is the thing. This is why it's important to respect rejection and respect things not going exactly how you wanted it to with a woman in certain situations, because that keeps you balanced. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you was to get imagine every hot chick you talk to agreed to suck your dick and fuck you. What you would get tired of that shit, right? So now you'd be like, damn, I need something different. Then you start getting into all this other shit that you understand what I'm saying? That you might not want to get into. You feel what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful.
Yeah, I see what you're saying for like the stimulation and stuff. So in a way, it's good for you to go out and say have some and get some bad pussy, so to speak, because then you like, damn, you know, it's like it breaks that norm of what you got and then keeps you, I guess level.
There has to be balance. This is why I tell you guys, you know, like even for myself, like you know, the reason why I can balance out for myself is that when I interact with women, right, I only deal with women who fuck with me on my terms. But guess what happens with that? That means there's a lot of women I'm gonna encounter that I'm gonna have to charge to the game. You understand what I'm saying? And so, or certain women that's gonna reject me based on them knowing how I am. So that balances out all the shit. So let's say if I was just talking to all these chicks and 99% of them was like, yes, I'd be just fucking all these chicks in a lot of cases, or most of them, right? But because shit is balanced out, and I have certain protocol for sex to happen, that balances it out so that I'm not doing too much and too many things to where I'm trying to up the ante and do some other crazy shit. You understand what I'm saying?
So you can keep the same stimulation.
Exactly, because I'm telling you, you know, if it will happen where you get bored and desensitized, and then you're gonna be into some weird ass shit. That's all I'm saying.
No, because it reminds me, like, I mean, I agree with you because, like, you said, I think in a few live streams ago, you were like, when it comes to the first time you having sex with a chick, you're a very, very nice person.
Right.
Right. But, you know, like, you're able to do that, because I do the same thing too. I mean, in a way, I'd be like, hey, I'm more vanilla, I would say.
Right.
But I don't need to slap a chick in the face. I don't need to body slam a chick. I don't need that to get off.
Right.
I can get off just being vanilla because I never up the ante that much. So like when I start hearing people start talking about all the shit they do, I'm like, damn, what came over you while you was fucking a bitch to slap her in the face? I don't really get it. But you know, I never thought that way.
Right.
But I'm cool with just fucking.
Right, because it's like this, you know, if you like ice cream, that's cool. Right. But you don't want to eat ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You don't want to eat ice cream every day. So what happens is that you eat ice cream, you enjoy it in moderation. So even with sex should be enjoyed in moderation. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that in moderation is also still subjective too, because for some people, moderation is like, you know, once a week. Some people moderation is, you know, 3 times a week. Some people moderation is twice a month or whatever it is for you to sort of keep you balanced, then you got to understand that, because then what happens is that if you indulge too much, right, that's going to fuck up your taste for the thing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how it goes. I'm telling you, this shit deep. I'm telling you gotta.
Exactly. Yeah, that shit's real deep.
Yes, you gotta be careful, man, because you don't want to get too desensitized to where you don't feel anything. You're like, God damn it, like this shit whack. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
See, I always thought. See, that's what I would always be not in fear of, but I never really entertained, like, say, going to sex parties and stuff. And I heard you all had talking about it, but that's what I always thought. I thought, well, what if I go to the sex party and then like now I can't just get off one time with just a chick anymore? Like now I need it more. But it seems like
well, the thing is,
it seems like boys.
It's not that you can't go to a sex party. It's like, but you're not, you know, it's not like you're going to a sex party every day or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I said, it's like, you know, you do that, have your fun, and then you go back to what you was doing before. And then maybe a year or two from now, you go to another one. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where you sort of like, you space it out, you balance it out. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so the having the experience just one a few times doesn't just open the floodgate.
No. Like there's times where
okay.
so there's things where, for example, you might have a sexual experience that you had that you really like. So let's say you have a threesome with these two chicks. You understand what I'm saying? And that was the first time you had a threesome, right? And so you could really enjoy it, like, oh, this shit was the shit. But just because you had the threesome, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not gonna enjoy fucking just one chick next week. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? So, but you can still enjoy that threesome, and then the next time, if that situation can occur, then you can make it happen. You feel what I'm saying? But the thing is that, you know, if you're the type of person who, let's say, for example, you have a threesome, and then you have another threesome, and then for whatever reason you have another threesome, and that's all you've been doing. And then what happens is that because that's where you're at and you get used to it, just fucking that one girl might seem lame because you're so used to just having threesomes. But I'm just using that as extreme. Most people aren't gonna have threesomes all the time. But what I'm saying is that if that was your life where you're having threesomes, so let's say you had access to a lot of women to where you're having threesomes on the regular, that's your baseline. So now you're like, okay, yeah, I need a foursome now. I need to be fucking with, you know, a bunch of chicks and a fucking clown juggling bananas in front of my face or something. I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, yo, I need some crazy to get off. You feel what I'm saying? So right. And see, and that also is an aspect of putting sex on a pedestal. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, sure.
Because what happens is that you're indulging so much that you are looking for the next thing of sex. You see what I'm saying? Of a sexual situation, because you're going super crazy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because now you made the sex important. You put it on the pedestal.
Exactly.
So I always trying to now up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I always tell people this. The best way to look at sex is how you look at anything else that you hardly think about. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning that, you know, like, let's say, for example, I'm sure today most of you guys that are watching right now didn't think about French fries. Like, it probably didn't cross your mind today about French fries, but you like French fries though.
No.
You might order French fries when you go to a diner or some shit, but you're not thinking of French fries every day. You understand what I'm saying? You're just like, it's just like, oh, if I go to a restaurant, yeah, I'll take some fries, whatever, but that's not constantly on your mind. It's not a big fucking deal about French fries. You're not talking about your French fry count. You feel what I'm saying? You're not, you know what I mean? It's just like anything else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at French fries like any fucking other thing in your life that you're not really thinking too much about. The problem with sex is people have put sex on this super high pedestal to where it's become this important thing, whether they look at it positive or negative, right? And what I'm saying is that the problem is looking at sex just in general as such this big thing that we have to take it out of everything else happening in the world and making it like this big thing that we're focusing on and putting the spotlight on. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Damn. But yeah, man, that's what's up, man. I appreciate the game, of course.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna jump on back in and let you finish the show.
Yes, sir. I rather appreciate the call, fam. All right. So, guys, you want to call up 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300 is the number. So let's get back into the list. So we did the number one we had, and this is no overimportance. We first talked about trying not to flirt and build sexual attention on a date is you put sex on a pedestal. So the second thing we talked about was demonizing porn, is putting sex on a pedestal. The third thing we talked about was being celibate or abstinent, putting sex on a pedestal. Now, number 4. This shit always makes me laugh. The fourth ridiculous way you put sex on a pedestal is believing in soul ties, twin flames, and sexual demons. Oh my God. People that talk about this shit just irk me. Soul ties, twin flames, sexual demons, all this other goofy shit. When you believe in this horse shit, that's you putting sex on a pedestal. So what you're essentially saying is, because people are like, well, you can't have just sex. You're going to create these soul ties. You can't just have sex. You're going to be transferring sexual demons between everyone. You understand? It's a bunch of bullshit. You know, it's some people will say, oh, well, if a person is, negative and you have sex with them, they're going to transfer their negativity to you, right? You're going to start feeling negative. Like, why am I feeling so depressed? They're like, oh, it's because you had sex with someone who's depressed. You see what I'm saying? They'll say stupid shit like that. Isn't it funny how they never say it the other way around? They never say, oh, if you have sex with a person who's happy, you'll be happy too. They never say no shit like that.
Up?
908.
What's up, Mr. Locario?
908. What's poppin'? Who this?
Man, this Swifty, this Scrappy Chan.
What's going on? Did you donate?
No, but I get paid this month. I get disability check.
Oh, brother, I'm gonna have to let you go, man. You gotta donate and then call up. But if somebody else donates for you, then you could call back up, right?
Well, all right then, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, fam. Man. But yeah, like I was saying, guys, don't believe in all this bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Do not believe in soul ties, twin flames, sexual demons. All of this other nonsense is all nonsense. It's all nonsense. You understand? You're not gonna start feeling depressed because you fucked a depressed chick. It's not gonna happen. You understand what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen. If I'm happy and I fuck a depressed chick, she ain't just gonna automatically be happy because I'm happy. That's not how it works. You understand what I'm saying? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine you talking to a chick? She's like, I'm just feeling so down. Really, bitch? How about I give you this happy dick and just make your life better? You feel what I'm saying? Like, listen, girl, I could make you feel good with this dick. I could make you happy. Girl, I'm so happy right now. Soon as I give you this dick, all your problems are going to go away. Like, what are we talking about? This is stupidness. This is what I'm saying, where people put sex on a pedestal like it has this magical powers and shit. Do you know what the funny part about that is? Is that if I'm talking to a chick if I'm interacting with a chick who's depressed, right? I have a better chance of inspiring her to change her mood by having a conversation with her than fucking her. You understand what I'm saying? Or like, let's say the opposite, where people are like, oh, you're going to make this person, the sex demon, or a person who's negative is going to make you feel negative if you have sex with them. Do you understand that it's more likely that you would have been inspired to have negative thoughts by somebody having a conversation with you versus them having sex with you? You understand what I'm saying? Because when you have the conversation, they're going to say something that will make you feel a certain way because you're thinking about what they said, you interpret it a certain way, and that can make you think a certain way. You understand? But if a depressed chick sucks my dick, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I'm so depressed right now. She put all that depression in my dick hole, and now it went through my body, and now I'm depressed. She put that sex demon. Like, what are we talking about? Is that emotionally transmitted disease? But this is how much motherfuckers put sex on a pedestal. They think sex is like, oh, it has all this magical, mystical. No, man, like this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, listen, I'm having a great day. You know, I just won the lottery. I won $10 million and I fucked this depressed chick and now I'm so down and out. Like, what? What are we talking about? I'm feeling so good, but you know, if I fuck this girl who has all this negative energy and now I feel so down and sad. How? Like, what are we talking about? This is craziness. But that's what I'm saying. A lot of niggas believe in the soul ties, twin flames, sex demons, all that other garbage. And that's how it works. Now, let's move on to number 5. So the 5th ridiculous way you put sex on a pedestal is waiting for an extended period of time to get to know someone before you have sex. Waiting for an extended period of time to get to know someone before you have sex. Now, when you guys are out here interacting with women, this is not to say that, you know, you see a girl, you meet a girl that you gotta, you know, smash her in the bathroom at a club. Right? You can if you want, but that's not what I'm necessarily saying. What I'm saying is the idea of, you know, people like, well, we gotta go on 3 or 4 dates first. We gotta have heavy conversations on the phone first before sex happens. You know, we have to see if our political agendas align. Did you vote for Trump? Let me know if you voted for Trump first, and then we'll have sex. What? You understand? This shit is so stupid. 980, what's popping? Who it is?
Yo, it's this Scrappy Chen again.
Okay, I see Kobe Lean sent a joint for you. So what's going on with you, man?
Yo, so let me tell you, bro, I haven't had a lady, I ain't had pussy in 4 years, bro. And I can like go outside for a whole day, go up to every pretty lady I see, get rejected.
Okay.
So like, tell me like, what do all girls like?
You saw what do all girls like?
Yeah.
Well, first, let me ask you.
That's the only way I might get pussy.
So caller, first of all, before we begin, I gotta ask you, and I'm being serious. Do you have a mental handicap or disability?
Well, I'm autistic and schizo.
Okay, so see that there we go. So this is the thing. So if you are autistic and schizo, I can't really give you any advice. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I really can't. There's nothing I can give you because you would have to actually seek professional help so that they can help you. And then, you understand what I'm saying? If you're getting help with that, then maybe you could come back over here. But I really can't. There's nothing I can tell you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I figure that now. Like, I figure that.
Right. So listen, man, listen. I appreciate you calling in, but what I would say to you, the advice that I can give you is that you need to get professional help for your issues first. And then once that's done, you understand, or once you're doing that, right? And then maybe after that, you can come over here, maybe.
Okay, like, who you think I should ask, though?
I don't know.
What you think?
I don't know. You're going to have to Google it, man. You're going to have to find somebody to go see and talk to them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right.
If you can't help me, then basically nobody can.
Nah, there's people that can help you out, man. But listen, man, I appreciate the call, fam. And I'm going to holler at you, bro. All right. Yeah, dudes, I'm telling you, I can't help them out. I can't do it. Exactly. I'm not a therapist. I don't know what's up with all that other stuff. But guys, you can call in. Call in numbers 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300 is the number. So now let's move on to. So number 5 was waiting for an extended period of time to, get to know someone. And the thing is, you got to understand, a lot of times what happens is that women will use that as a way to get attention from you when they're not sexually attracted to you. And then you are putting sex on a pedestal by waiting and trying to get to know her before sex happens. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta understand that goes down where, anybody even thinking, man, we gotta have a deep connection. I gotta get to know you first. We gotta, do a whole song and dance. That's you putting sex on a pedestal. You understand what I'm saying? It's really that simple. Now let's move on to number 6. So the 6th way you're putting sex on a pedestal is engaging in any type of fear-mongering around sex. Engaging in any type of fear-mongering around sex. You understand what I'm saying? And Weezy, I want you to call up Weezy. Someone call up Weezy. Donate and call up, or if somebody donates a free call up. But basically, whenever you're doing any type of fear-mongering around sex, you're putting sex on a pedestal. So what does that mean? What is fear-mongering? That's you saying, don't have sex, you're going to catch a bunch of STDs. Don't have sex, you're going to get a bunch of unwanted pregnancies. These women should be having sex. Your body count's going to be too high. And then you're not going to be able to pair bond. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that stupid shit. Right? That's all fear mongering. Right? See, a lot of times what happens is that a lot of times when motherfuckers be catching a bunch of STDs, this is not all the time, but a lot of times, motherfuckers is having unprotected sex. Let's keep it real with multiple people. So they are having sex unprotected. And when people have unwanted pregnancies, they're doing what? Having sex unprotected. In most cases. You understand? When dudes be talking about the high body counts of women and all that other shit, that's just some red pill shit niggas talk about because they feel some type of way about a woman having a bunch of sex. They don't like it because they're not the guy fucking, and they believe the pseudoscience of, the high body counts and the pair bonding and all that other shit. So all of it is just fear mongering. You understand? But again, that is you putting sex on a pedestal because you're making it so important that you got to try to scare motherfuckers to not have it. But let's go to 531. 531 was popping. Who this?
What's good, Locario? This Bitch Prize you. What's up?
What's going on? Did you donate?
I heard somebody in the chat said they sent a free call.
Nah.
They sent money for a free call.
Nah, we don't got no, I don't see no free calls on here. Hold on, let me see. Okay, we got one. Yeah, we got one free call. But before I talk to you though,
okay,
I don't want to see no more posts about dating coaches, talking about you or doing something to you. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But go ahead. And you know what I'm talking about. But go ahead.
Okay, man. So I just got to ask you a question, man.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I apologize in advance. I'm paranoia, not gonna say I'm paranoid schizophrenic, but I watch everything. I watch the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm from Memphis. I'm look. I don't even want to get into that. Trust me, I have my reasons for doing what I do. Like I literally had, like, way back in the day. I talked to you about this a long time ago. I almost got shot at, leaving Memphis. But I had found out before because I was messing with a dude chick.
Gotcha.
That's one reason why I left Memphis. But I don't even want to, that's a long story I don't want to get into. You ain't got time to hear it. But anyway, so I just want to ask you a question. How do you know if a woman has a STD? Like what is one certain way that you know that a woman has an STD?
Well, I mean, you sometimes you won't. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you won't. Yeah. Now, sometimes you could probably tell in certain situations where, like, let's say, for example, like sometimes if a woman's stuff smells like really, really, really bad, she could have an STD. You know what I'm saying? Or you could just see, you know, certain like lesions or something on her shit that they'll tell you she has an STD, shit like that. But there's times where you may not necessarily know. You understand what I'm saying? But this is why on your end, you got to just make sure that you're strapping up and that you're also getting tested, you know, regularly, so that you just make sure that your shit is on point. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it sounds like your method and how you do things is like absolute. Like that's what I'm getting, and that's why you so steadfast on how you view sex, because you have a very methodical way about how you go about doing things. It's like redundant, you know, and it's absolute. You don't change it for anything. I think, you know, that's why you had these points, and I mean, I respect it, you know.
Yeah, but the thing is with you know, because the thing is this: a lot of times when people are scared of STDs, the problem is that what they do is they take everything to the extreme. Right. So if you're so the thing is, if you're a grown adult who is sexually active and you desire sex, right, you're going to have sex. So now if you're going to have sex, you want to make sure that you're having sex in a way that you're going to protect yourself as much as you can. You feel what I'm saying? And make sure that you're using good judgment within interacting with, you know, people sexually. Now, some people, what they like to do is, there's some people who like to, for example, you know, have sex in a committed relationship where it's monogamous, so they feel safer in that way, right? But even with that, you never know, because a person could cheat on you, right? So there's still no absolute with that. Or a person might, you know, when it comes to sex, say, okay, I want to make sure that me and this person gets tested or show test results and then have sex. But even with that, the test results they show could have been from like a month or two before, and they could have had sex with somebody else and caught something in and out. You see what I'm saying? Like there's no guarantee, right? So the only guarantee to never catch anything is to never have sex. But most people are never going to, you know what I'm saying? Most people are not going to just not have sex. You see what I'm saying? So that's the only way you can guarantee you're not going to catch anything is to not have sex. But having sex doesn't guarantee you're going to catch it. And that's how most people try to make it seem like, oh, well, if you're having all this sex, you're going to get an STD. That's not true. You understand what I'm saying? There's no guarantee you're going to get an STD just because you're having a lot of sex. You understand what I'm saying? But the only guarantee to not catch anything is to not have sex.
Yeah, and I heard you say like one way that you can go about it is to use your own discernment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that could be sort of tricky, because if you a guy with, I ain't gonna say absolutely no experience, but if you a guy with little experience, then your judgment can be false or wrong most of the time, because you might not know the the subtle hints and signs that a person might have an STD, you know. And that can be a problem in the long run, because you may have your own way that you go about knowing how to know if a person has an STD. But like I said, if you were like an 18, 19-year-old guy, like you might not know. So that's honestly why I decided to ask this question, because it might be a guy out there that may be that age and they may not know those signs. So it's best if you tell them that. So
Well, that's why a person has to do as much as they can, and also research. You understand what I'm saying? So that they can make sure that they're doing what they can do to protect themselves as much as they can. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. If you have a 19-year-old who's not well versed in this, of course, the most he could do is put on a condom. Some people won't even do that. You see what I'm saying? So you have people who won't do something as simple as put on a condom. You understand what I'm saying? Just off of that. Now, there are certain things that you can catch even if you have a condom on. But what I'm saying is the least you can do is put on a condom, right? And so you have certain people, and you got to understand it's a mindset, right? Certain people, they have a certain mindset where they are irresponsible people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then you have people who have a mindset where they're responsible people. So therefore, when it even comes to sex, they're already taking precautions because they're a responsible person versus a person who's irresponsible who just does whatever because they feel like it. You understand? So these are the type of people who won't put on a condom at all, or the type of person who will have a condom on, will take it off and fuck without the condom because they're like, oh, it might feel better without the condom, and they just do it. They're irresponsible. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is that a lot of times what goes down is that people will try to, fearmonger. This is what we talked about before, and be like, oh, don't have sex because you're going to catch an STD. And fear mongering is irresponsible. Do you see what I'm saying? Because what's going to happen is that no one's going to stop people from fucking. But if people are going to fuck, right? It's like, okay, well, if you're going to fuck, be as responsible as you can and learn about these things so you know and understand how these things operate and how these things go. You see what I'm saying? But the problem is that either people are fear-mongering or people are being very, very irresponsible, and then shit goes left and it goes crazy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and 100%. I hear you on everything. It's one more thing I want to add before I hang up, because I know you got to do a show or whatever. It's like one thing that I learned is that, well, I'll say this instead. So it's like the only women that I deal with is women that are responsible. Like literally, like the only women I deal with is the only women that are responsible. Women, like before I even decide to stick it in, they turn around, do you have a condom on? Yes or no? Like, let me know. It's like they're doing everything in their power to be responsible for themselves, so they won't catch anything. I like the vast majority of the women that I've dealt with, I say, like, if I slept with like 102 women, probably like 85 of those women literally would just let me do whatever and not ask for a condom or nothing. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna be as safe as I can, like you say, and do what I need to do. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be with none of those women, because that's like, they're irresponsible from the very beginning of the situation. So why would I want to be with a woman like this? So I know at least if she cheat on me or whatever, right? I know she's going to be responsible with the next guy, pretty much.
Right.
So that's one major factor that I've learned, just dealing with women and just having sex and all this stuff, is that I just deal with the women that's responsible. That's why I've literally never had an STD that I know of. I've never had an outbreak or nothing like that. So yeah, this is a very important topic or whatever. But yeah.
No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. But yo, man, I appreciate you calling in. All right, I'm gonna holler at you later, man. Appreciate you, man. All right.
All right, man.
All right, man. I'm out. Peace. All right. So let's get to the last one. So we on the last one right here. And this one is funny. So the last ridiculous way you put sex on a pedestal is thinking sex should only happen with someone you love. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So you have people out there that they believe that, sex should only occur with someone you love, someone you're in a long-term relationship with, shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? And so the problem with that is that you're putting sex on a pedestal, making sex this big thing designated for a special person. You see what I'm saying? Which means that you're making it special. You understand? So a lot of times people, they mix up sex and love. So a lot of time, and this is why you'll hear people say, oh, I had all this sex and I feel empty. The reason why is because they thought that having all this sex was going to equate to love. So you have people who try to get love through sex. You understand what I'm saying? They try to get love through sex. Or you'll have people who think that if you are having sex with them, that means that you love them. You understand what I'm saying? This is what, a lot of people think. You feel what I mean? And so you're putting the sex on a pedestal if you're looking at it like sex can only happen if I love the person. See, if I only had sex with women I love, I'd probably had sex with 3 women, if that much, in my whole life. If I only had sex with women I love, I'd probably have sex with like 3 women, 2 or 3 women. That's it. In my entire life. You understand what I'm saying? That's crazy. Exactly. Sex and love don't belong in the same bed. That's a fact. That's a fact. But again, the idea of, only having sex with someone you love, putting sex on a pedestal. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta stop putting sex on a pedestal. And the thing is this, overall, we're talking about is that you gotta make sure that you're not the type of person who is making sex this big deal to where you are like overindulging yourself into it, right? To the point where you're like, on some like sex addict type shit. But then also you don't want to be on the opposite end of the spectrum of you fearing sex and trying to avoid sex like it's the goddamn plague. You understand? Because that's still you putting it on the pedestal. You understand what I'm saying? You're making sex this big, extravagant thing, which a lot of people do. A lot of people do that shit. And that's where you're going to have problems. Whenever you put sex on a pedestal, you are always going to have problems in relationships. Always. Always. Because what's going to happen is that if you're using sex to get love, you're going to have those problems because people are going to have sex with you and it's going to be over. And you're going to feel some type of way. If you are using sex to leverage to get attention, so a lot of women will do this. They're like, well, I know he wants to fuck me, so let me get him to give me attention, and then she'll get invested in the guy. The guy has sex with her and then he bounces. Then she feels some type of way. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to make sure you're not putting sex on a pedestal. Because even the idea of being celibate, right? Why do you, or like abstaining, why is that even a thing? You understand? Like think about being celibate. Like, why is being celibate a thing? Meaning, when I say a thing, why is there something that has a name for this? Like, I'm not having sex. Why is there a name for something like that? Why can't you just not be having sex at the moment? Why are you making a decision to refrain from it? You understand? Like, it doesn't, I don't get it. I really don't get it. So this is why you have guys crashing out over women cheating on them, deleting themselves. Exactly. That's a fact. It's because of sex. Let me see what some of these questions are saying. It said, I saw a girl behind me slow down to look and said, you look sexy in those leggings. What's your name? She said she had a boyfriend and kept walking. She glanced back. I waved. Did I do anything wrong? No, you didn't do anything wrong. See, so the thing is that, look, if a woman's telling you she got a boyfriend and she walking away, she's not interested in talking to you. Just understand that. That's it. She's not interested in talking to you, my guy. It's okay. Says if they ban porn and OnlyFans, guys would go crazy and society would be in danger. It might be, it might be. You got a point. It might be. It says I work on Fridays and Saturday nights, so how can I go on Monday and Tuesday because I'm off those days, but nothing really pops off those days, so I'm missing out on many women to actually interact with. Reggie, I bet you're not on online dating. I bet you're not doing online dating. I bet you're not, going, typing in Google in your area of events happening, because there's events that happen Mondays and Tuesdays. But it all depends on where you're at. I don't know where you're at. But generally, if you go online, you can probably find something popping off on those days. You feel what I'm saying? But also, if you work Friday and Saturday nights, what about Sunday? What about Thursdays? You understand? There's still other days of the week. You understand what I'm saying? It says, regarding number 7, does that have a lot to do with social programming, romantic comedies, TV shows, Disney fairy tale crap that most dudes grow up watching, etc., and reading? Yes. Well, that it definitely has a lot to do with it, where people equate sex with love. You know why? Because it's because of monogamy. So if you're in a monogamous relationship, it's basically saying that you and your girl are only having sex with each other, right? And so they attach the emotion and the love to that. So if your girl cheats or you cheat, then it's like, oh, you must love the other person because the person you have sex with is the person you love, right? So the person you're having sex with right now is the person you love in your relationship. So if you go outside the relationship and have sex, then that must mean you love that person. You understand? That's how they look at it psychologically, right? So the thing is that what makes you a monogamous couple is sex. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's what makes you a monogamous couple is sex. That's what cheating is. It's based on sex. You understand what I'm saying? Now people can say, well, there's emotional cheating and all that, but generally it's sex. It's like monogamy is supposed to make people feel safe, but I got news for you: ain't nobody safe. That's a fact. That's real shit. See, that's what I was telling True Prodigy. I was like, look, people be worried about STDs. People think, oh, well, you should be in a safe monogamous relationship. That don't mean nothing. You understand what I'm saying? That means nada. Because you in that monogamous relationship, your girl cheating on you or you cheating on your girl, it's crazy. Crazy. But anyway, we about to wrap this up, people. Make sure that you guys go to badboymembership.com, shoplocario.com, masculine identity membership, and cunninghamelements.com. Make sure you guys do that and check that out. Make sure you guys do that, make that happen. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So we'll get together again tomorrow to make this happen. And I will holler at y'all later. And remember, people, the truth is inside you, and I'm out. Peace. Now, before you go, click the link below and go to badboymembership.com. Now, badboymembership.com is a place where you go to get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month. Listen, I know you're tired of being rejected. Go to badboymembership.com. I know you're tired of being afraid to approach women. Go to badboymembership.com. I know you're tired of not getting the women that you want. Go to badboymembership.com. Listen, I know you're tired of being alone on a Friday night. Go to badboymembership.com. Now picture this. You'll go from not getting what you want when it comes to you dealing with women to actually getting what you want, to being the guy women want to be with, women want to date, women want to have sex with. All you need to do is go to badboymembership.com, follow the steps, learn the game, implement the game, and then you will get the woman you want. Make sure you go to badboymembership.com today. Click the link below. Get the new audio program, What Men Wish They Knew About Women. Hidden gems about dating you don't know, but should, by Mr. Locario and April MC. Go to shoplocario.com right now to get your copy today.
And then, I had my consultation with April and Locario this past Saturday, which
nice.
And it was funny because I already had dates lined up before the consultation, and then after, it just within day, it's just I haven't even gotten the new photos they suggested me to get yet, but just all the game they gave me in that I implemented, it's just skyrocketed within a day. So it's
how many matches did you go to?
I went from getting I want to say max 4 matches a day to 10.
10 a day. Shit.
10 a day. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so I'm booked 4 weeks out date wise right now.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we know that there could be flakes and shit, but they're getting replaced as time goes on. So
that's it. Yeah.
So, everyone needs to get that shit. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Don't.
It's like a mini coaching session.
I'm trying to tell, bro. It was April, bro. That is the most gamed up chick alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. like I'm like, how do you know me this well? Like, it's just wild, man. So yeah, shout out to them, man.
Yo, shout out to April and Locario, man. Facts, man.
Step up your game and go to shoplocario.com. That is the place where you can get my books, audio, and video programs in one place. All you got to do is type in shoplocario.com and step up your game today. Game Kings 2, the definition of man, is out right now. Click the link below or go straight to masculineidentity.com to get your copy today. Click the links below to get private one-on-one coaching sessions with Mr. Locario or Miles Cunningham to step up your game. These coaching sessions are designed to help you with your specific needs in the dating game. So make sure you click the links below right now so that you can step up your game today.
Because Locario, in my opinion, is the best dating coach on YouTube or whatever the fuck. Everything he says, ambulance. Everything he says, I have nothing against him. I have no contradiction.